right, campers. It's just coming on 9:30 here in Ribadesella, Friday the 13th. And today's a travel day, right? I make up for the days going off to Dublin. So 3 buses today. Gonna head over to the bus stop in just a little bit. But this is just the most wonderful promenade and beach. A lot of surfers were out here yesterday evening, and this was just full of people last night. So I want to give you guys a view of what this is all about. They are expecting rain tomorrow and Sunday for that matter. Had a nice grilled scallops dinner last night. Very, very, very pleasant. Rested well, so off to the bus stop. And then coming into Ribadeo today, that's the goal. And that's kind of where we make the transition and start to go inland. Okay, let's see how it goes. All right, folks, so Saturday the 14th, it's 10 after 9 in the morning. So let me fill you in on what's been going on. So as I was coming in on the bus yesterday into Ribadeo, a strong smell of smoke in the air, and could see haze in the air as well, right? Even smelling smoke inside the hostel here, so it was around. I was checking Google and no reports. There was actually one report of a fire in an island, Spanish island in the Canary Islands, right, hundreds of miles away. And I thought, all right, maybe the wind pattern is kind of in the same direction. And we know in California that we can get fires in Oregon or Nevada and we can smell the smoke and see a little bit of the haze. This was pretty strong, and I thought, well, okay, I guess so. Nothing's local being reported, so stick to the plan. Talked to the owner of the hostel last night, and he said, oh no, that the fires are in fact quite close, that they closed the road into town, the main highway, the A8, I think it is, which they later reopened. But nonetheless, fires are pretty close, and that it's a good idea that I check either with the tourist office or the police department in the morning, this morning, to kind of see what's going on. So I thought about it, looked at, the maps, transit, and all that stuff. So what I discovered was that the fires are apparently in the town or an area near Lugo. And Lugo is not direct path of the Norte, but Bamonte, Baamonte is, right? That's a town I had planned to stay in. Lugo, Bamonte, 20 miles apart. So last night, obviously not knowing which direction the fire has been moving, 20 miles is not that far. We know in California things can get overrun really quickly. So I was thinking, all right, okay. Kind of as I work through the different ideas and options, what I've come up with is to actually take a cab to Sarria. So what I didn't want, what I did want, what I originally wanted after I retired was just to go take a nice long walk, right? Let me do the Camino de Santiago, a nice long walk. Well, okay. What I don't want is, of course, to walk into a bunch of smoke. That's dumb. That's dangerous. What I didn't want to was to be walking towards the fire, if it's still going, because I'll get to that later. That's dumb. What I also don't want to do is to walk a path that might be burnt out. Maybe debris, maybe the path is not clear. Some of these places, these are little towns in that stretch into Bamonte. There's really little to no infrastructure. And if I get in the middle of the path somewhere and it's not passable, frankly, then I got to turn all the way around and go back out and then try to pick up a cab or something. Buses are, it's just not a great idea. So I thought the safest thing, and I do believe that I owe it to Ezra and Joe as, their only surviving parent, frankly, to keep myself as safe as possible and for as long as possible. So I had decided, all right, let me just see if I can jump to Sarria, the last spot where a person can start the Camino Frances, walk those 110 kilometers, 65 miles more or less, and get the certificate. And because I'll have days, extra days, I may be able to tack on Finisterre as well, see if I can get out and back. So that's kind of the thought right now. So what I'm going to do is have breakfast here. I'm going to check in with the owner of the place and see if he might be willing. I'll pay him money to give me a ride. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive to Sarria, and I'll pay for his gas and all of that. You know, it's Saturday, so maybe they're sleeping in or whatnot, but I'm hoping to be able to check in with somebody. The other alternative would be to take a cab, which, you know, I'd rather give money locally to this owner in cash, and we can strike a deal. So that's kind of the plan. The other piece that I said, okay, great. The weather report says that it's going to be rain for the next 2 weeks. It's actually a little drizzly out today. I don't know if that means big rain or little rain. But also, if I'm going to walk in the rain, you know, frankly, I'd rather do it on a flatter path that has infrastructure that may not be impaired, because as we also know, if there's a hillside, right, a path that's been burnt out, and then there's rain, and then there's slosh, and then there's runoff, and then just to avoid all of that and the chaos that can go along with all of that, that's the idea, just to jump. I have a little regret, truthfully, in doing it, but this has been a mix and match trip the entire way. So that's where it sits so far. Had a really good hamburger last night, and these cheesy fries, plus an Oreo chocolate shake, delightful. So I have some breakfast here that I'm going to get to in just a minute, and then see if I can get my arrangements. I'm going to go to the police station still, and make sure that the roads into Lugo are still open. Yes, I could have taken a bus. The buses go through Lugo also, but frankly, I'm just burnt on the buses and the bus schedule, and I'm just trying to make this easier for myself. I'll have to wipe out all the reservations that I've made. Hopefully they'll understand, give me credit on that. Get into Sarria, right? Set up a new set and go from there. Okay, fine. Better safe than sorry. And better than getting myself into the middle of something that just takes a whole bunch of more effort to get out of. So that's the thought, right? Just gonna take it as it goes. So thanks for hanging in there. As as I was saying, I guess we're gonna have an adventure. Let's have an adventure, because we are. All right, there we go. I'll keep you posted. All right, well, I made it here to Sarria, as you can see, and have gotten all my new accommodations lined up. Means I'll be able to actually slow down my mileage. It'll give me 2.5 days, 3.5 days in Santiago instead of 2. Okay. You know, really what I wanted from the very beginning was, as I would joke, say, I just want to go take a nice long walk. And this will allow me to slow it down. The terrain is going to be much more tolerable, and I think that's good. The other part is that I've put my arrangements, my reservations in pensions and not the albergues. I don't really need to sleep in dorm rooms. Don't really want to. I don't want to catch somebody's cold or whatever, you know, at the end of all of this stuff. So I'm not going to do that. And fine. Very different thing here in Sarria already. You know, it is kind of that spot where the closest spot where you can walk and get your credential stamped, and then your certificates, credential stamped and get your certificate. Okay, so that's fine. So a lot of folks are here, and it shows. You know, there's a lot more stores, there's a lot more pilgrim stuff, there's a lot more all of that. So there's just a little bit down the street